In early 2020, the world was hit by an unprecedented pandemic, COVID-19. France, like many other countries, experienced a lockdown that induced an increasing level of anxiety among its citizens. In order to control the spread of pandemic, the French government launched a comprehensive vaccination campaign. However, the success of the vaccination campaign has been hindered by factors such as vaccine hesitancy, misinformation, and the lack of trust in the government. In response, the government has utilized the emotional appeals in its public health messaging to deal with all this issue. The use of emotionalization in public health messaging has been a double-edged sword. On one side, emotional appeals that highlight the benefits of getting vaccinated, such as protecting the one you love and returning to a sense of normalcy, which may be effective in encouraging people to take actions. On the other hand, those messages that induce fear or anxiety, such as highlighting the risk of not getting vaccinated, can also contribute to vaccine hesitancy and mistrust. Our group has been investigating the role of emotionalization in the COVID-19 vaccine campaign in France. We have been examining the language used in public health messaging and the impact that message have on public perception and behaviors from the citizens. Join us to explore the impact of emotionalization on the COVID-19 vaccine campaign in France, and what we can learn from this experience is to promote more effective public health communication in the future rather than just the COVID.
Doing our researches, we have discovered the notion of persuasive messages. But what is it? It's a communication designed to influence an individual's attitudes, beliefs, or behaviors. These messages can take many forms, including advertisement, political speeches, and public service announcement. Historically, persuasive messages was used in context of war, crisis, or chaos to influence a group of people to rally behind a cause. However, we have discovered another aspect of persuasive message that aims to influence an audience even more: emotionalization. Emotionalization is the process of using emotions to elicit a desired response from the audience. This is how we question ourselves: how did the French government use emotionalization in its vaccination campaign, and what was the actual influence on people's opinion and behaviors?
For the research, we have created a questionnaire taking into account the different types of emotionalization with a potential positive or negative tone, and a comparison with an informative content which is not emotionalized. To better understand these differences and their impacts, we randomly assigned 3 different questionnaires to a group of French individuals.
The results we got on our open-ended question is that a negative tone annoys and can be considered as a threat according to the respondents. In this case, our interviewees highlighted the fact that they are usually skeptical about politics and their messages, and this was perfectly in line with what we have studied before.
People aren't dying when they take the vaccine.
However, we were expecting our respondents to opt for a positive tone of emotionalization as the most effective way to influence people's opinion and action. But we finally found out that our sample of people tend to think that negativity creates more reaction and appeals more to feelings, even though they are not necessarily good for the purpose of the message.
We could find that emotionalization content conduct participants' response very engaging and extremely engaging, with a result of 38.78% is 25.14% higher than unemotionalization content under that condition of that both content is informative enough. Also, from the actual action that participants would like to take after reviewing the message, only 22.73% of them likely get vaccinated after acknowledging the informative content, but 45.24% likely to get COVID-19 vaccine and 35.71% likely to take the flu vaccines under the emotionalization content, which validated our assumption that emotionalization is a more effective on those vaccine campaign to influence people's opinion.
Our research results have indicated that emotionalization can be a powerful tool in health communication, as evidenced by its successful implementation during the COVID-19 vaccine campaign and our research result. However, we must be mindful of the ethical implication of using emotional appeals to persuade the publics. While emotionalization can be effective in promoting positive health behaviors, we must ensure that we do not manipulate the emotion of public during the process. Going forward, it's essential that health communication professionals continue to explore and refine strategy for using emotional appeals in a responsible and ethical manner, ultimately promoting better health outcome for all.